What up, though, and welcome to the Herman Lowe Show, talking Detroit Lions versus Indianapolis Colts. I'm Easy, joined by Hollywood, Herman, Moore.
Hey, I'm trying to be both myself and Lomas at the same time. As y'all notice, Lomas Brown is not here today, trying to figure out where Lomas is. I've texted him. If anybody is hanging with Lomas or you know where Lomas is, tell him he's supposed to be on our show. Man, come on.
Yeah.
And why I'm sitting here like this, I'm not trying to style and profile. I'm just feeling brand new. Brand new Lions. The brand new Lions. The brand new Lions. This is a different group. This is a different bunch. I'm loving it. I'm over here right now, Ease, right now. As we wait for people to come in, man. You know, I'm over. What's good, Kurt? So got Lisa. Lisa, okay. Lisa's been already hanging out. What's up, Lisa? Hey,
What
you
up,
know what?
Lisa?
So came out. I'm in Philly right now, and so I'm in hostile territory. I already met with some Eagle fans. I'm here with some business partners. Here looking at a few things, and I've walked into hostile territory. But I have to say this. This is what's pretty sweet. People love the Lions. Easy. You hear what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They love the Lions.
You know, if Philly, they going to like us until they got to play us in the NFC Conference Championship game. It ain't going to be cute no more.
Yeah. You know, I made this joke when I was here last year. I was sitting out, I was having dinner with a few people, and they said, you know, I think the time the Eagles were like 10-1 or whatever they were, right? And they were just talking about how everything was coming through Philly. And it was going to be Philadelphia this and Philadelphia that. The Eagles this, the Eagles that. All I know is this. I said, you know what? Y'all better let me know right now before I leave. And we had about 4 games left in the season. I said, you got to let me know now if you want me to get reservations. I said, because the city's going to be booked. I said, because we're not going to have any rooms for anybody to get any rooms. You know, if you're trying to come there and play, because we're not coming to Philly. If anything, Philly's coming to us. And lo and
Yes,
behold, that's what
sir.
happened. So now they're respecting that right now. They're respecting the Lions. And I was talking with Wilbur Montgomery, talking to Seth Joyner, a couple guys. I'll be talking to Irvin Fryer a little bit later. And, man, I'm telling you, man, everybody's got mad respect and love for Coach Campbell. They love what the team is doing. They love what they're seeing, how the players are playing. And, you know, it's amazing. You talk about who's probably the most favorite team right now in the NFL. It's the Lions. Everyone wants
Yeah.
to see what the Lions are doing. So what's up to everybody coming on? AKA Impressed. I see you. Appreciate you always coming back.
Heatherine.
I'm gonna take
Yeah.
these off right. Just so y'all know, if y'all got in a little bit later than when I was on, I was just flossing a little bit, just letting everybody know, you know, I'm feeling brand new. You know, I'm a new Lion. I'm a new Lions. You know, loving everything the fellas are doing. Lomas, we were hoping that he would be on. We'll see if he's going to have an opportunity to come back on the show. But if not, my boy Easy and I, we're going to hold it down.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, speaking of the brand new Lions, it's crazy for me, man. Like, we've had talented teams. You know what I'm saying? Like we had you, we had Bear. You guys made it to, you guys won games. We had Calvin, we had Matt. Like, we had talent. We just never seem to have the coaching. And the reason how I know the coaching is for sure here is we've gone games now missing pieces of those talent. We talk about Aiden Hudson, Brian Branch getting thrown out that one game. Uh, Injuries just this past week for Terrion Arnold. We've been missing talent at times, and we still have come out on top in these situations. And it's like we finally got the coaching, and on top of just having a good coach, he's a good dude too. Everybody around in the country likes him. He's kind of helped us become America's team.
Yeah. I don't doubt that at all. Here's what I like though. We talk about the run up to the playoffs, the run up to seeing if you can have an opportunity. As much as we've seen this is how well the Lions have had to play this year. They're one game, right, in front of Minnesota. You got a couple games in front of Green Bay, right, or whatever I think it is. It's not an easy division, and you think about the run that they've had, and yet you can't pull away from the division. That's the type of division they're in right now. So this is going to be tough, but it's the finish. I always tell people, man, I'm going to be really excited about what's happening right now. We're going to break down what we saw with Indianapolis. We know what's coming up with these final 6 games, but it's all about the finish. You still got to finish. We saw the collapse that happened with Philadelphia, right, who got out on a major run, and then all of a sudden it just imploded. And not that I definitely know that's not going to happen with the Lions, but it's anything and all things can happen because of the injury factor. That's the only thing. I want these guys to stay healthy. We got a short week.
Yeah, I was having a conversation with Spinney yesterday with the injuries. I told him this Bears game is going to be a tough one. I think more, at least tougher than people are. I think it's going to be because they're looking at the record, the Bears are 4-7. But like those divisional games, man, I remember moments growing up, and we were like the 4-7 team going up against the number 1 seed Packers or whatever, and we'll get them. You know what I'm saying? We get them. Those division games mean different, and we have a lot of injuries. Speaking of missing guys, Herman, I don't know if you saw earlier today, they released James Houston from the team, the defensive end. How
Well,
you expect this?
you know what? I didn't think that was going to happen. At least not right now. But he's kind of been one of those guys that's on the fence. We've talked about that they haven't had some of the pass rush that they've wanted to see. We as fans and as people that sit on the outside, we don't know how these players get graded. All players get graded. And we can think that a player has a great game statistically, but they can have a really bad game when it comes to how they grade out in terms of execution of their assignments and what they were supposed to do. Whereas the light may shine on them and say statistically they had a great game, but they could have really screwed up the offense or the defense because they weren't playing in position or they weren't able to accomplish whatever their task was. Seeing that we haven't had as strong, I think against the Indianapolis Colts, the pass rush was better. We saw more pressure up the middle. You saw McNeil, Smith. You saw the linebackers getting involved at the line of scrimmage, and coming up and making plays and crowding the line. But at the same time, we're wanting to see a lot more. And so this team still, I think, needs a little bit more depth. There's got to be a little bit more development that happens there. I don't think there's any panic because I think they play well enough. But I think man's going to be a problem. I said this in our previous conversation and also yesterday or day before on our broadcast. I'm still concerned a little bit about the secondary coverage, especially if the pass rush doesn't get there. I say that with any good defense, but especially with this one because the corners are still, I think, a little soft.
That's just you being a receiver, all pro wide receiver.
I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it
Just
going,
looking at your chops.
At the secondary, I go, okay, where do I attack this defense? So in all fairness, and it's not to definitely talk down or talk bad about any players. I would never do that as it relates to any of the players on this team. But when I'm looking over there, I'm going, if I'm going to attack, I'm definitely attacking their corners. That's one. I'm trying to stay out of the deep thirds because of the way their safeties play and they're ball hawks. I'm going to challenge their linebackers and make sure that I consistently have them in pass coverage because they're downhill players. And then I think they're getting better at pass coverage, but in space, I think they're going to struggle with a more veteran or more disciplined tight end and or slot guy. And then, I'm going to really try and, if I'm a quarterback that has the ability to be a dual threat, I know this defense has some holes and some problems when it comes to if they can't get the pressure up the middle. If I step outside the pocket, I've negated your pass rush up the middle. Now it's really about your containment and your ends. So that's what I'm saying from my vantage point as an offensive player. How would I attack this defense? So that's how, when I talk about where I see the weaknesses, it's not saying that the Lions are a bad team or they have these areas that need, whatever, but I'm saying that's where I see the abilities.
No, I respect that. It makes sense too. Like I said, we may look at it and say the guy sucks, but you actually know tangible moves that you would attack that cornerback with. So there's different you saying it than just anybody else. Someone who's played at the all-pro level as a wide receiver. And real quick, as you guys are filing in here on YouTube, make sure you guys smash that like button. Be a friend, tell a friend, share the stream. We got the new Sonic and Knuckles merch out too. Make sure you guys check that one out on hermanlow.com. But I'm with you, Herman. I've kind of developed a little bit of a relationship with Kendall Vildor, and so I've been hesitant to be critical of him. You know what I'm saying? But that first half was 3 receptions, 61 yards. He knows that's bad. You know what I'm saying? You have to know that 61 yards and just 3 receptions. That's awful. The good news is nothing in the second half, but it's definitely the weak spot of the Detroit Lions team. Do you think a rookie like Caleb Williams would be able to take advantage of that this Thursday?
I'm always fearful of rookies. I'm not going to lie. It doesn't matter. Even if Terry Arnold, and he could have played most of the season and he could have been your starter, even though he's still a rookie. I know he hasn't learned enough at this level And as you change levels, it gets more difficult because let's say if you're going against a guy like myself, even going against teammates of his own, like let's say Williams, or he's going against St. Brown. These are guys that know how to set them up. They know how to get them, because they're just learning. They're learning the basics. They're just trying to get the assignment right. They're just trying to line up right. They're just trying to make sure they don't give up big plays. So there's so much that's going through their mind. They're not acting instinctively or innately. What they're doing is they're more reactive, and then all of a sudden it's just whatever happens is impulsive. So impulsivity is big when it comes to that. So I look at it, you're going to have to protect them. I think whenever the corners are a little bit more of a liability as what we see right now, your safeties now get pulled into that mix. And when you get Branch and you get Joseph having to come in and commit to that, now you have 4 players that are now having to be taken into account. And offensively, I may be able to get those 4 players with 2 players, because you got to cover my 2 stud wide receivers. And now I've taken 4 of your defensive players out of the mix, and possibly a linebacker, because he's got to now follow me and he's got to find me. So that's if you don't have a shutdown corner, you just can't have people following people around. That's a problem.
Yeah. Moving to the offense side of the ball, Dan Campbell's kind of been transparent. We may be without Taylor Decker this week. He's been leaning towards that all week. Khalif Raymond as well. Although he's not a real prominent piece in the offense, he's there in the kick return game. When you guys are missing like your left tackle like that, or even a right tackle on your offensive lineman, does that lean towards a more run-heavy approach in those games, or it just depends on the matchup?
And that's why I wish, if Lomas Brown, again, we're putting out an APB on him. This is one of those questions that Lomas should definitely be more qualified to answer. But in his absence, I will try and answer it. When you have a lineman that goes down, or an area where you think that could create a weakness along the line, it breaks the chain. This is an offensive line that works really, really well together. You look at the line calls, when you see Jared Goff come up to the line and he's talking about kill, 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 and he's now checking off into something else, whether that's a dummy kill or not, because I know not all those kill plays are kills, right? But you have to be able to move fast. You have to move all in sync. And if we've seen one thing that's been really good about this line, and this is what I heard today when I was talking to a couple of guys from Philly, they love the unison. They love the fact that it looks like this offensive line moves together. And, we talked about Philly last year having one of the best offensive lines, if not, I think they were rivaling the Detroit Lions. It was like, 1 and 2, or who had the better line. Yep. And I think they're very closely matched. But these guys move as one and as one unit. So that's you don't want to have those kinks in your chain, but at the end, you don't run away from it, because then teams make you more predictable if they know that you're trying to stay away from what you perceive as a weakness. And I think that's what we see defensively with Aaron Glenn. And he's got to dial up his man coverages. He's got to dial up some exposure plays, because he doesn't want to become a predictable defensive unit.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Couple comments in the chat here. We see some comments. I want them to introduce Caleb to the Lions so bad. My guy Juice's Ghost. I think it's all about getting a hold of that rookie this week.
Davis, I don't. What I'm seeing is, it's not that they're uncertain. I just think they just don't have the vibe yet with what's been happening. There's a high energy level that plays in this defense, and as you saw with Indy, if they think that there's a weakness, some teams now, they're bold about it. We're going after that player. We're going after that weakness. And right now, I think defensively, those are the only 2 areas I see where you can really attack and try and get those plays called. But it's like I said, I'm always just fearful of a rookie. Not me going against a rookie, but if I'm looking there, I'm going, man, that's an open area right there.
What about rookie quarterbacks? Chicago Bears got the rookie quarterback, Caleb Williams. You think we'll be able to take advantage of that, or he'll take advantage of us with our secondary options at cornerback?
Well, I think he will run when the opportunities are there. I think if anything, they're going to teach him ball security. Throw the ball away if something's not there. If you have to take the sack, take the sack. We'd rather you do that than turn the ball over or make a bad play. But I don't know necessarily. When it comes to the quarterback, you got to look at the tools around him. When you look at Allen Robinson, when you look at not Allen Robinson, Keenan Allen,
Mm-hmm.
and you look at some of the other guys that they have, Moore and stuff like that. Like these are players that can hurt you. You got a pretty decent running game. You know, the line is not the greatest, but it's effective. And when you have a unit that I think has played well against the Lions historically and have split with us quite a bit, they're looking at this as they think they're going to split, and then maybe there's an opportunity to take 2 games. I mean, that's what I think they're going to come in. So I don't think this is going to be an underconfident team, and it's not because they have a rookie quarterback.
Mm-hmm. Are you because Kane Press asked, are you nervous about this Bears team?
Not really worried as much as I think they're better than Indy in terms of what they're going to present in terms of a complete team. I think their defensive unit is going to play a little bit more together. I think they're going to have a different game plan than what we've seen. If you look at the game plan against Indy actually played pretty well defensively. Both teams defensively, the Lions and them, they held the offenses in check. It was really the missed opportunities in the red zone. I think you're going to get the same type of play when Chicago comes in. Their fans are going to travel well, unless they figure out another area to get the tickets. So Lion fans need to go buy up the rest of the tickets. We know it says sold out, but we know a lot of that stuff hangs out in limbo and on the platforms until people buy them.
Yeah.
But they're going to travel because it's a big game. It's a big rivalry.
I'm with you on that one too. Someone I gotta find the one. Somebody said they're more scared of this Bears team than the Vikings team because they want the Detroit Lions overlooking them. You agree?
I would agree with that. The Vikings, and I think Spence and I, we talked about this, and Easy, we were on there together as well. I won't call them a fraud and that they're fake, but I just think they're soft. I think they are the 4th best team in the division. I think it's the Lions, the Packers, the Bears, the Vikings. The Vikings got off to a pretty good start. Yeah, they're sitting there in second, but I think it's a soft second. I think they're going to easily slip. I would be more concerned about Green Bay, and then I would be more concerned about the Bears at this point than even worrying about the. I think we match up really, really good against the Vikings, offensively and defensively.
Quick question from Heathery Mims. Do you know when Hutchinson's coming back from his injury? They said it could be if they made the Super Bowl. It's possible he could be ready for that game, but that's not like the sunny rainbow bright side of things.
Yeah, but you even think about it, even if he was ready for the Super Bowl, he's not really ready.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's ready to come back and participate, but I don't think he's ready to come back as the Hutch that we know.
Yeah.
At this point, if they're in the Super Bowl and he wasn't there at that point, if he wants to come out and just so he can get his his feet on the field and get some things, I wouldn't want to put him at risk because can you imagine having a healthy Hutch back along with the rest of this defensive unit, give them a whole nother year of offseason training camp, the whole 9. That's a different unit. And I think the defensive secondary, there are going to be some moves that are made or those guys are going to be further along developed. So the unit we see now, this defense is only going to get better. And it's ranked in the top defenses in the NFL right now. So the Lions defense is trending like the offense. Like it's there right there. This is a complete football team. And then you look at hopefully Raymond can get back and they can make sure that gets solidified because the special teams, that was such a threat on the punt returns. It's hard to bring the kick returns out of the end zone, but right now, man, the special teams was becoming exciting as well and becoming a tool and a threat for the Lions against their opponent.
Yeah, then I saw another question too. Somebody asked about with Steve. I should have looked with stats more, but how did David Long perform last week? I just looked him up. He only played 11 snaps. 2 of them were pass rushing snaps, so the ones were on the run, and he didn't have any tackles or anything like that. So he's probably still getting acclimated to the defense or whatnot too. Herman, can I ask you?
It's CZ. She's all on the other end now, man. I forgot that. She's out there hanging out on the side. What's up, CZ?
Yeah, she wouldn't risk that leg.
Got Steve. I appreciate everybody coming in.
Yeah. What was the TAFKA day? So the Vikings have been really wacky in recent years. 2 years ago, they were 13-4, despite having a negative point differential for the season. Yeah, man.
They're not a lot of points.
I'm with you guys on that one. They're kind of wonky. I don't trust them.
Yeah. but they become that sneaky team because they have, you have two receivers that can obviously play. You got two receivers that can make plays. You got a competent quarterback in Darnold. You have a suspect running game, but I think all the way along you have a lot of other opportunities offensively against their defense. I don't think their defense is as strong as it's been in the past. I don't think it's the aggressive defense that people have feared in the past. The secondary's got some holes in there, whereas that was a strength for them, a year or 2 years ago. And now I just see there's a lot of exposure. The linebackers are decent, but there's just the rush. It's there, but it's reckless at times. There's a lot of escapes. A lot of, as Dan Campbell likes to say, completing the play. They're not completing a lot of those plays. And I think they could be a surprise. I just wouldn't sleep on it. Do I want that to be the defining game at the end of the year? It'd be great. I don't fear it. But you want to definitely not make it to where it comes down to, a shootout like that. Because any big play could change that game.
Yeah. I am taking song requests too. If you guys would like me to sing some karaoke. Just saying. Herman, I want to ask, what is it about these division games that a 4-7 team can capitalize on a 10-1 team? I'm not saying it will happen this weekend, but like, what is it that makes these games so close despite like the differences between the two?
Chicago, you look at think about the game against the Commanders, right? It's a tip pass at the end. They should have won the game. So that's a game that gets away. You get your it's just the last play of the game. It's a Hail Mary. You lose on that play. There's a couple other games that were a little bit closer. So this team isn't
last week was overtime.
Yeah, I mean, so that so their record is reflecting not necessarily what type of team they are. The Bears could very easily switch places with either probably Green Bay or you may even have Chicago and all these guys kind of Green Bay, Chicago, Vikings kind of locked up kind of closer than what they are. So the Bears are not a slouch. Their record is not indicative of the quality of team that the Lions are going to be facing. So this won't be a team that they just walk over coming in. Like I said, the Bears, they're going to stick to their running game. You're not going to force them not to run the football. They're going to run the football. They're going to have a quarterback while young is going to try and make plays, which gives opportunities to our secondary. But he's also going to make runs with his legs. He's going to also be able to scramble and get outside of the pocket, and he's going to be able to make some plays if he finds some accuracy and he can make certain plays down the field. He has competent wide receivers that he can throw to that can make plays and hurt you. So it's not a throwaway game, and that the Lions can just walk in and think it's just going to be over.
Yeah, they've been playing us tough too, man. And like Keitho says, everybody, make sure you guys smash that like button. Be a friend, tell a friend, share the stream. Lions Nation Unite. We got the new merch out, Sonic and Knuckles. Chrissy been texting me. I think she's still in the lab cooking up some other stuff too. I'm excited to see what you guys are rolling out here.
We got a nice one coming up, man. I won't even tell them what the next one. I don't know if she put in what the next one's gonna be. Oh yeah, you're gonna want to get the next one
as well, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna start
You're out in Philly right now, and I know we talked about it in the beginning a little bit, but Hatman asked, are the Eagles, do you think the Eagles are the biggest challenge in the NFC right now for the Lions?
I think Green Bay is going to be just as tough. I'll say this for those, when we used to play, you play one opponent that's in the NFC once, it's okay. But sometimes when you play those opponents twice, it's tougher. And then if you have to face them a third time because they become, a team that's in your division, you know each other so well. It's like you've been in camp together. And so you're going to have to earn everything that you get. The distance between, no matter what the games have been, get closer and closer. And it comes down to really just how your turnovers are. The problem you have with the Eagles is with Barkley, with Saquon, they've now really ignited their running game. The offensive line, Lomas will always speak on this, right? The line loves when you run. Look at our line. Look at how our line loves to fire off the ball because they have a running back that's going to make some things happen. Saquon's doing it, passing game, running game. Even talking about how, not only would he be the Eagles MVP, but, he should throw his name in the hat for being league MVP. This is a player that has found a home, and he is playing lights out. The Eagles play behind that energy. The offense will get behind running a lot faster than they get behind the passing game sometimes. but they have their receivers back. You got Hurts, you got Brown, they're not lacking weapons. So yeah, I think as a total team, probably the Eagles, because the Lions haven't seen them yet this year, other than on TV and on paper. That would be my bigger threat.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Eagles. I'm with you on Packers too. I know they're our division opponent, and people don't want to give our division opponent credit, but like I just think they could be lethal in a situation like an indoor game, like they did last year with us. Outdoors, yeah, I know the score was lopsided and Detroit Lions won, but you got to remember they had a lot of bad snaps. Like the rain affected them more than it affected us. Oddly enough, indoors, I think they're equally as deadly.
Yeah, I think their offense, though, the Packers' offense, other than their running game, I think they can do some things with Love, making time. But I'm just not as sold on his receivers, right? His receiver unit is not one that I would say matches up, obviously, with the one that we have in Detroit. And I definitely don't think it's greater than the one that's in Philly. And when you look at total offense and you look at not only the offensive line to the quarterback to, being solid, not only in the backfield, but also on the perimeter with your receivers, the Eagles are hands down, I think, better. Yeah. Now it comes down to coaching. That's the X factor. See, why the Lions, I don't think everyone goes, the Lions from player to player to player, you would say I wouldn't pick any other player over these players. No, you may say that, but you go playing together. What unit is playing better together than the Detroit Lions? And then factor in the fact that they are a talented football team. Now they become really unstoppable when they have discipline. And that's why even when I spoke the other day on nitpicking a little bit, or I talk about, the exposure of the secondary, it is those areas that you can only pick at. You can't pick at the strength, because that's where their strength is. It's those places, man. If they close up those, they're juggernaut. Along with the way they're coached, that's all I hear. Like when you talk about most teams, I go around the league right now, I go, name their coach. Tell me the head coach for that team. People don't know. I said, tell me the offensive or defensive coordinator. No one knows. But you go here, they go AG, then they go and they talk about Ben, right? They go BJ and AG, and then they go Dan Campbell. Then they say Brad Holmes. Then they're talking about the GM, and then they start talking about all the players. Like, I'll wait. Everybody's on this thread. Give me the offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, the GM, and the head coach before you get to the team.
Yeah.
And these guys all out here. This is Philly. I'm in Philadelphia. They all know him.
Yeah.
All of them. I can't tell you who Philadelphia. I don't even know if I know their coach.
Kellen Moore, the former Detroit Lion, Kellen Moore, offensive coordinator.
Yeah, but you know him because he's Kellen Moore. But it's like, I know who he is, but I wouldn't.
No, yeah. Our coaching staff is better by far. Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't follow where these guys are going. I'm gonna be honest. And no disrespect. It's just, but it's nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a team.
Yeah, one of the fun things about football is kind of like trying to decode, okay, this team's successful. Is it the players or the coach? You know what I'm saying? Like trying to decode that sometimes, because you may see a certain player, he's out cold and he hits for agency, goes to another team. He ain't the same guy no more, All
right. And I know I was talking to Wilbur Montgomery, and he was mentioning that he doesn't think that Ben Johnson is recognized as much as around the league as the brilliant person that he is as an OC. When you talk about offensive coordinators, defensive coordinators, there's a little bit of a swag that comes with it. There's a little bit of territory that comes with it because everybody's got their thing, right?
Yeah.
And, he's probably one, obviously, is going to get looked upon as being obviously a head coach candidate. We've heard Aaron Glenn's name being thrown around to that. How do the Lions keep both? I think it's going to be tough to keep both. Through and through. So it's a matter of time at this point. And then even then, what does that do to the system, to the players? Because I'm telling you, as a player, I played under Tom Moore's system. You look at Tom Moore when he went to Indianapolis, same system. He had his Reggie Wayne, he had Marvin Harrison, he had Edgerrin James, and then he had Peyton Manning.
I didn't know that.
Right. Then he went down to Tampa. Okay. went over to Tampa. Who did he have? He had quarterback, he had his receivers, he had a running game, right? And then he went out to Arizona. What did he have? He had quarterback, he had Anquan Bolden and Larry Fitzgerald at the time. And each time he went to each of those things, you know what he had? Receivers and running backs that all had over 1,000 yards, quarterbacks that were throwing for 4,000 yards. His system went with him. His offense went with him. And he was running the same systems that he was running with us. I could call those plays like clockwork when I would see those guys line up in the routes they were running. And that's when you know you got a coordinator, you got a system that works, no matter you plug and play players. And I think Ben Johnson is going to be that type of an OC. He just needs to know who do I have to work with. Give me the recipes and then create the meal.
Was Tom Moore there when Marvin Harrison broke your record?
Yeah. And in fact, I actually, when I left the Lions, I went, I called him. And this is a true story. I called him. I said, hey, a question. Since the Lions let me go, even if I come there, I said, if I'm going to be a number 3, I'm going to be a number 3 there versus I'm going to stay here and just sit the bench and be a 3 and not really be used, right? And his response was what he would have done in Detroit as well. He says, Herman, as much as I love you and I'd love to have you here, he says, I wouldn't want to mess up the chemistry. Straight up. And this is the guy that I love Tom Moore. Like this was my guy, man. He was good. He's good people. But he was honest because that's how much the chemistry meant to a football team. That you could be whatever you are, he's not disrupting that. And so you respect people that put systems together like that around the people. And I'm sure he had to tweak it because, you know, Anquan Bolden and Larry Fitzgerald, Marvin Harrison, Reggie Wayne, we're all different. I think he had Mike Evans, and I don't know at the time who was there with Mike when he was there, but, you know, he was killing it.
That's crazy. Nobody really talks about him. I feel like he deserves to be talked about more. The fact that he had you go ahead and break a single season record, then he does it again with another guy of similar stature. Like that's crazy. Nobody really talks about Tom Moore as one of the better.
Well, the 13, 14, 15, 1,600-yard receivers every year, 100-plus catches. Running backs were never negated. They were 1,400, 1,500-yard running backs, double-digit touchdowns. He always, he had a recipe.
Mm-hmm.
And, Scott, Peyton Manning, who would he had? I think Kurt Warner was the guy he had at the time out in Arizona. And I don't remember who the quarterback was down in Tampa, and always top 5 offenses,
That's crazy. Nobody talks about him like that. That's crazy. We let him go.
Yeah.
I got a cool comment here for everybody listening right now. Make sure you guys smash that like button. It's from CZ. She said, let's give away a Sonic and Knuckles shirt to someone live on this stream right now. You can enter by stating which video game system you like. Damn.
What's your favorite system? Hey, man, let me see. I want to see if I can win this shirt. I'm not going to get in the comments. Maybe I'll get in there. I'll put mine in there. Hold on. I'm going to put mine in here.
Yeah, I kind of want a shirt too. So let me I'm going to join as well. Yeah. I'll read some of the comments while you do yours. But so Steve, this is Xbox 360. He's an old one. Keitho was a Nintendo. CZ was a Nintendo.
Oh, man.
She's on the Switch now. Shoot, let me see.
Now, I don't even know if I'm spelling it right, but I'm going to put it in there anyway. There you go.
Let's see. Atari. Yeah. You know what? I ain't gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? A little before my time.
I was gonna say the Sega Genesis. I mean, I had that. I've had I've had all the PS, starting with the PS 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever it was up to.
Yeah.
All the Xboxes from when they first started to even to the last system that they had. The Nintendo's. I never had the Nintendo Switch. I had the Sega Genesis. The Nintendo 64. Oh yeah. The big cartridge. Yeah, I had those.
Yeah.
Man,
you gotta take it out.
But you look at the iconic shirts and everything. The ones where it's always the Atari one. I'm telling you, man. It was the Atari touchpad.
Nintendo Tecmo Bowl. Got another Sega Genesis. These video game comments are flying like crazy.
Oh, yeah.
They must have seen the shirt because
What about
Nice.
what other because I had the Game Boys. Let's see, gosh, man. Actually,
What's the
so
first?
I just pulled up one because I had the the regular Game Boy, and then they came up with the purple one, the white one, the black one, but the ones you can kind of see through. You can see all the components on the inside. I still have those. I actually pulled that out of my box the other day, just a nostalgic piece. And that's another thing I want to let everyone know, man. We're going to be doing on here. If you could imagine, over all the time that I've been playing sports and collecting, and I have kids that are 30 or whatever now, and I kept all their stuff, and no one cares. We just keep a lot of this stuff. So I have like storage units of stuff. So I'm gonna start doing unboxing. And I mean, if you're a collector and you're looking for some sweet stuff, like where there's Lion stuff, Detroit sports stuff, I got to clean it all out because it's just sitting there. And I'd rather have people have
That'd
it
be fun.
than for me and put it in their cave and put it in their collection than just for me to let it continue to just collect dust. So you and I, man, and Spence and CZ, we have to do some unboxing on here as well.
That'll
down. Be cool. Yeah, do
I'm
some mystery box.
Real quick, when I shout our guy Ron Crackiola, it's easy, Herman. Happy Thanksgiving and bring on. The Bears.
What's up, man? I appreciate you letting me drive the bus too.
Yeah, it's crazy that you guys used to ride that at camp. I barely fit in that thing. How the heck did you guys fit in there?
Oh man, come on. We hang out. That's it. And then too, when you don't have to have like the linemen like Lomas and all those guys on there. Here's one other thing, and I don't want to jump off too much here, but again, appreciate everybody jumping in on the comments and being a part of this show. But I was talking to a couple guys. True story. When I had my locker in my last year playing with the Lions, I remember I came in because you have to clean out your locker, and they tell you you've been released or whatever, right? So they had released me, and I was like they need you to come over, right? And I'm thinking that you coming over, maybe it's going to be like not balloons or anything like that, but like at least like people going to be like, hey, they want to stop upstairs, say hi, or say bye to you, or no hard feelings, whatever, right? I remember going into the locker room, man, and my nameplate, everything was taken off of my locker because it was a little plate just stick up there or whatever.
Yeah.
And any stuff I had in my box, my lock had been removed from my box. And then you have this little bag that you get your clothes washed and all this stuff you put in anything. And all of it's like just sitting there on this little stove. I'm looking for like a note. I'm like, damn, can I at least get like a little note or like a thank you? Here's a gift card or something. Like it's nothing. It's like get your bag, get your stuff, like whatever, right? And so I have some of that stuff. So I actually went through it the other day because I saw it and I was like, yeah, I guess this is also going to be one of those part of the unboxing because it's got some nice little stuff.
Cold-blooded. That's crazy. That's wild. They do you like that.
But no, it's probably maybe that's the way they did it back in the day, man. I don't know. But I don't know how they did everyone else. But I know I walked in and I was like, where's everybody? And it's just sitting out. And it was like a call, like, come get your stuff. And like thinking like somebody's going to get it to you. And it's just sitting there like for you to just come get it.
That's
wild. I'm like, yeah. So that's, I don't know. I don't know what made me think of it because I was going through all my stuff. And I remember seeing like some of the stuff that was in my locker. And I just left it as pretty cool. But anyway, that's a whole nother.
The bag might smell a little funny. I don't know. It's good coming from the locker. We might have to keep that one box. I'm just saying. How do you want to pick this winner? Is CZ picking them or are we picking them?
Let's see. You think what? I think CZ should pick. Let's see.
I'm with you on that one. X-Men arcade game was goated. What was the first game you played yourself in? What system was that on?
Oh man, it would have been Madden. It would have been Madden.
Yeah.
Because every year I'm still
PS2.
But what's been really cool, man, is to continue to be in it. Like I started whenever they started rolling that out, and then every year, man, they keep adding me in, giving me a nice little 99 or 98 or whatever it is I got.
Yeah.
So nice little cheat code.
I think it's dope because it lets the kids nowadays know. You know what I'm saying? How cold
that's
you
what
were.
I tell them.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what I tell them. They always go, hey, I go, you play Madden? They go, yeah. I go, you looking for a cheat code? You need to go find me in there. You got to go unlock me somewhere in there or whatever, right? So I love it.
I'm with you on that one.
Ask Lomas Brown if he's in Madden.
Was he not?
No, man.
They didn't put him in Madden?
They got
Did he come up with the lineman of love?
They got linemen in there.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, offensive lineman.
Nobody's going there picking a lineman card.
Yeah,
that's why I wish you were on here, man. So I got a lot. I had a lot to go after him today.
CZ said, "Don't make her pick." How about this? What system did you play yourself in Madden in for the first time?
You said which one?
Yeah, what system was it?
It would have been on the PlayStation.
PlayStation.
Yeah.
Should we find the first person that said PlayStation and make them the winner?
I think we should do. Here, let me see. Now I'm gonna let them know I'm just scrolling like this. Let me see if I can just randomly pick something. Let's see. All right, we got Keitho. And just hand picking like this. I'm doing like this on the scroll. I'm scrolling like this, and then I'm just picking like that. So
it's Keitho.
Got here. Yeah, CZ's not getting one. She was the other one. So let's go right here. I'm rolling the wheel right there. Mr. Detroit City. Got one there. All right, let's do one more. How many you want me to give away here?
Shoot, I think 3's a magic number. We got 2, right?
So it's funny. This is the one I hit. So I guess Donkey Kong, since you hate all video games, I guess you didn't pick a system. I guess that'll disqualify you. So we'll pick another one. All right. I got Steve Likens.
Bet. You guys message if you guys are on X. Message Lions Nation Unite. Get us your information. We get you those shirts out to you. If you haven't seen them, let me pull them up real quick. Actually, on the website here, they're pretty sick. Obviously, you know the dynamic duo Sonic and Knuckles. I can find the link here. Hold on one second. I only have the pictures.
And if we're not going to end up talking to a lot of you before Thanksgiving, just say happy holiday. Be safe out there. Enjoy your family. Enjoy the game. And, don't spend too much money on that Black Friday because you want to save it and come over to LNU and spend it there.
Yes.
That's where you want to get it. But I can't wait to do this unboxing, man. I'm pretty stoked about that because I just thought about some of the stuff I'll give out for Brett, too. Go ahead and pop that shirt up real quick.
Boom.
You got whether you love it or you got kids that will love this, man. I rock these. I was rocking one the other day. So I'm gonna rock probably the one with the black jerseys next time.
Man, I kind of like the white ones.
Yeah, that's the one I was rocking before. I had the black hoodie with both the guys, Jameer and David Montgomery were in the white, all white.
The thing I will say for sure, because of the holidays, limited edition. So I for sure get them while they're in. I don't want you guys to miss out on these shirts. I know I gotta get mine too.
CZ, man. Kudos to her, man. Let's give her a shout, man. She's been working
shout out to CZ. Those are cold.
And she was doing it with her design team that we have over at LNU. And these are her designs and concepts.
I like the graffiti too for the names. Those are cold.
Yeah.
It's crazy how like the style's gone back to the 90s almost. You know what I'm saying? Like it's weird how that works. But I gotta get out of the studio. I know you got business to tend to. You out in Philadelphia on the road. Make sure you guys smash that like button, share the stream, be a friend, tell a friend. Happy holidays. First and foremost, if I don't see you guys before then. You too, Herman. Happy Thanksgiving. If I don't see you before,
I appreciate it. I'm gonna go back out here and be brand new.
You know, man.
While I go hang out with these Philly fans.
All right, man. We out.
All right.